Hi guys, this is Mrs. Hatfield,
And this is Mrs. Schenzer.
and we're your two teachers for Advanced Algebra 2 this semester and possibly next semester. And first thing we're going to start out is working with patterns and expressions.
And the objective is to basically identify and describe patterns. And patterns are really important in math because really math is all about discovering patterns.
And it's really easy to sometimes see a pattern, sometimes not so easy. In the two examples we have up here on A and B, let's see if we can describe in words what's happening, and eventually that'll take us into an algebraic expression.
Great. So for example 1A, as you're looking at that pattern, I'm hoping that you're seeing that we're just adding a box to the end of each row and then we're putting a single box on top. And that's really all you need to write. There you can see what I wrote down for describing the pattern in words and then also the illustration.
All right, let's look at example B. Notice that the first one has 2 boxes, then 3, then 4, then 5. We're adding an additional box to the right-hand square as it's going down. And notice if I would draw in the next one, we'd have an additional box in that row of currently having 4. So let's look at describing this pattern in words first.
Okay, so that is example 1B. Now we're going to get into new concepts. In new concepts, what we do there is really just define new terms. And so you want to have some good definitions down. And the first one we're going to define is a constant. So the first term is constant, and for constant, all you really need to write down is values don't change.
All right, variable quantity, values change.
And so for variable, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it being a symbol and usually represented by a letter. And the variable represents one or more numbers.
All right, let's talk about numerical expression. It contains both numbers and operators. And let's kind of stop right there and talk about the word, what would operators mean to you at this point? Okay, let's kind of take a moment here to talk about what operators are. You know, what does that word mean to you? Ms. Schenzer, what would that mean to you?
Well, when I'm thinking math, I'm thinking of things that do things. So like when you need to multiply.
Or add,
Yep, subtract.
divide.
Yep, so things like that, operators.
And then we're going to talk about that word expression, because operators and numbers put together form expressions, but something's missing at this point yet in order for it to go from an expression to an equation. And even though we don't necessarily get to work on that right away in this section, we will in the future sections.
So the big difference between an expression and an equation is
Both of us?
an equal sign.
Okay.
And now we need to distinguish the difference between numerical expression versus algebraic expression. And the big difference with an algebraic expression is that it contains one or more variables. Okay, so that was our first set of new concepts, and now we're going to be moving on to example 2, and we're going to look at figures made with toothpicks. Okay, so I'm demonstrating a method that the book shows in which they allow you to demonstrate what you know but using a table. And the table has 3 columns, and the first column, we're going to just list what figure number we're on. So we have figure 1, we have figure 2, and figure 3. And we're looking for a pattern so that if I asked you figure 7, how many toothpicks are being used, you're going to be able to come up with that. And so as you can see, the first figure has 5 toothpicks. If you count up all the toothpicks, you got 5 toothpicks being used. And as you go to figure 2, you're adding an additional 5 toothpicks. So we have 2 times 5. And then as you're going on to figure 3, then we have 3 times 5, because again we're adding another 5 toothpicks. So the process column is showing what mathematical, what do you want to say, mathematical
Process are we going to use? That's why they call it process column, but it's like, what are the directions? How are we going to get this answer?
Good. So I'm taking my figure number and literally just multiplying it by 5. And so the number of toothpicks for my first figure is 5, my number of toothpicks for my second figure 10, and my third figure is 15.
And now if I had 20, what would happen? And I'd take 20 times 5 and I get 100 toothpicks. So what am I doing every time with the number of toothpicks that I have in the figure?
Or-
Multiplying it by 5.
Not
So
the number of toothpicks, but the figure number.
The figure number, I'm sorry. Miss Schenzer always corrects me so nicely.
That's okay. So, yeah, this is what we would have then for our.
And that's now our algebraic expression.
Absolutely.
It has a number and it has a variable. All right, let's talk about example 3. You buy a bag of fish food and some goldfish. The graph shows the total cost depending upon how many goldfish you buy. So the number of goldfish that you buy, if we look at this chart that we have, realize that we're going to start out with, I don't buy any at all. So the 0 is going to be my x coordinate and 1 is going to be my y coordinate. And I'm talking about using a table when it asks for the total cost in that next question there. And if I use this table and come up with the xy, notice that I can use the counting numbers 0, 1, 2, and 3 as my x coordinates. And if I look back at the chart, 0 paired up with 1, 1 paired up with 3, 2 paired up with 5, and 3 paired up with 7. All right, now without actually writing any more of an equation, let's just talk about the pattern that's there. 1 plus 2 gave me that 3 in the y column. 2 plus 3 then, one more than adding 2 from the the part of it above. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I have 3 plus 4 is 7. So what's going to happen for 4? I'm going to add one more than 4 from the previous problem, the previous second number. So 4 plus 5 is 9. And then 5 plus 5 is 10.
5 plus 6.
5 plus 6 is 11. Good thing we have Miss Schenzer here. 6 plus 7 is 13. 7 plus 8 would give me 15. And 8 plus 9 would give me 19.
17.
17. Once again, good thing Miss Schenzer's
No,
here.
that's fine.
All right, and 9 plus 10 then is $19, and that's how much it would cost if we wanted to buy the food for 9 goldfish. Now notice that I'm just looking at a pattern. I'm just looking to find some sort of pattern here. And it was easy to see what that pattern was. All right, let's have Ms. Schenzer talk about how does that pattern then translate into a linear equation.
Right, and so when I looked at this, I kind of went back to my linear equation model, y equals mx plus b, and it maybe has been a while since you've looked at that, but b is your y-intercept, your initial amount. And so when we had 0 goldfish, we had a cost of $1. And so that was my initial amount, my y-intercept, and you can see it right here. And then remember, m represents your rate of change. So as I'm going and increasing my x value by 1, I'm going up by 2 each time. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And so my slope is 2x plus 1. So y equals 2x plus 1. And so if I wanted to know how much it would cost for 9 goldfish, I would put 9 in for x. And you're getting 18 plus 1, and again, you're getting $19. So you can see that there's different patterns. Sometimes you can look at a problem and I define it in a different pattern. Ms. Hatfield approached it a different way, looking at the tables and determining a pattern that way. And I kind of looked at it more as a linear function and identifying my initial amount, my b value, and my rate of change, my m. So that was lesson 1-1.